Dear student, welcome in SS Medical Classes. I am Dr. S.P. Singh, Senior Consultant Dermatologist, Autonomous State Medical College, Pirigit. Today I am discussing present scenario of novel coronavirus disease, which is popularly known as COVID-19. So in this video, we will discuss introduction of COVID-19 with history and various variants and subvariants of the SARS-CoV virus 2, an incubation period, and what is the relation of incubation period with the variants, and immunological status of the patient. Now in diagnosis section we will discuss symptoms and investigation. Investigation may be prognostic, may be of prognostic value, and may be of diagnostic value. Now as introduction, we come first on introduction. So we know what is the name of disease. Name of disease is novel coronavirus disease. Novel coronavirus disease and is popularly known as COVID-19. कई बार ये क्लियर नहीं होता है क्या डिजीज का नाम है और क्या वायरस का नाम है, किससे होता है. एंड इट इज कास्ड बाय नोवेल कोरोना वायरस. तो एट दैट टाइम when in 2019 in the Wuhan city of China, when multiple cases occurred as a outbreaks, then a virus causing novel coronavirus disease isolated, which was called as novel coronavirus. Novel माने नया, different. Novel means different, some novel coronavirus. And later on this virus was named as SARS-CoV-2 because it was found that in most of the cases the novel coronavirus is causing SARS. SARS means severe acute or say respiratory or SS syndrome. Severe acute respiratory syndrome. Yani the virus which was isolated, initially it was called novel coronavirus, and it was seen that this virus is causing SARS, severe acute respiratory syndrome, and severe acute respiratory distress syndrome. So that is why it was named as SARS-CoV-2. तो अगर ये if SARS-CoV virus 2 is there, then SARS-CoV-1 भी होना चाहिए. तो SARS coronavirus 1 ये भी है. This virus caused outbreaks. This virus caused outbreaks in 2002 से लेके 2004, यानी पूरे 2 साल तक इस वायरस की वजह से जो सार्स को वायरस कोरोना वायरस 1 है, इसकी वजह से ये बीमारी हुई पेशेंट में, इसकी आउटब्रेक्स हुई. किसकी हुई? सार्स सीवियर एक्यूट रेस्पिरेटरी सिंड्रोम. सीवियर एक्यूट रेस्पिरेटरी सिंड्रोम जिस वायरस ने की वजह से हुआ था 2002 और 2004 में, उस वायरस का नाम रखा गया था सार्स कोविड वायरस 1. और इसके बाद 2019 टू टिल नाउ जिस वायरस की वजह से पैंडेमिक हुई उसका नाम रखा गया, इनिशियली नाम रखा गया नोवेल कोरोना वायरस, लेटर ऑन उस वायरस का नाम रखा गया सार्स कोविड 2. Now some historical aspect, we can see some historical aspect. As we know that the outbreak began in December 2019 in the Wuhan city of China, where was first wild type strain was isolated. फर्स्ट वाइल्ड टाइप स्ट्रेन वाज आइसोलेटेड. जो पहला वेरिएंट था जो कैसा था, जो वुहान में आइसोलेटेड हुआ था, दैट वाज वाइल्ड टाइप स्ट्रेन, एंड ड्यू टू दिस स्ट्रेन देयर वाज ए आउटब्रेक और मल्टीपल केसेस, और फिर वहां से चाइना से द डिजीज स्प्रेड टू मेनी कंट्रीज एंड अल्टीमेटली इज स्प्रेड all over world and each and every country of the world. So by this fact, on January 30, 2020, WHO declared the outbreak as a public health emergency of international concern, that is PHEIC. So this outbreak was declared as a public health emergency of international concern, and later on then there were tremendous number of cases and tremendous number of deaths. Then on March 11, 2020, WHO declared COVID as a pandemic because it was worldwide. And since then, many viruses of concern have emerged. Many viruses of concern VOC have emerged from original wild type strain. और ये कौन कौन से वायरस थे, जैसे अल्फा, बीटा, गामा, ओमिक्रॉन. उस वाइल्ड टाइप के स्ट्रेन से ये वायरस जो है कैसे हुए, इमर्ज हुए. वाई रिकॉम्बिनेंट. और इसको कैसे पता चला, वाई जीन सीक्वेंसिंग. मेथड क्या है, जीन सीक्वेंसिंग. तो जीन सीक्वेंसिंग इज द मेथड which tells about the various variants of SARS-CoV virus 2. Now what is the VOC? VOC means the virus of concern. VOC means virus of concern. Virus of concern हम उसे कहेंगे जिसकी ट्रांसमिसिबिलिटी टू मच हाई हो, बहुत ज़्यादा हो, जिसका रेट ऑफ नेट ट्रांसमिशन बहुत ज़्यादा हो, ब्रुलेंस जिसकी ज़्यादा हो. मान लीजिए इन्फेक्शन तो हो रहा है लेकिन बीमारी किसी को नहीं हो रही है, तो उसको हम कहेंगे नॉन ब्रुलेंट वायरस. सो फॉर BOC वायरस ऑफ कंसर्न के लिए क्या होना चाहिए, दैट शुड बी ब्रुलेंट, इनफ ब्रुलेंट, हाई ब्रुलेंसी होनी चाहिए. एंड द वायरस ऑफ कंसर्न इलूड डायग्नोस्टिक टेस्ट. इलूड का मतलब क्या है कि बाईपास करता है. जो डायग्नोस्टिक टेस्ट अवेलेबल हैं उसको बाईपास करता है, जल्दी से पकड़ में नहीं आता. एंड नंबर 4 द इलूड इम्यूनिटी. इम्यूनिटी को बाईपास करता है. उसे इस बात से मतलब नहीं है कि किसमें कितनी इम्यूनिटी है, वेदर इम्यूनिटी ड्यू टू वैक्सीनेशन और ड्यू टू प्रीवियस इन्फेक्शन. सो एनी वायरस which follow these criteria is called as virus of concern. Is called as virus of concern. So various variants of SARS-CoV virus type 2 are alpha virus, which is also known as V.1.1.7, and beta variant, which is known as B.1.351. And there was gamma variant, which is also known as B.1, and there was delta variant, which was known as B.1.6.17.2, and next variant was Omicron, which is also known as B.1.1.B29. Now among these 5 variants, the delta virus caused maximum death, and Omicron virus caused maximum number of cases. So rate of transmission of Omicron was the highest. What number of deaths were less as compared to other variants. Alpha variant was detected in UK in September 2020. And beta variant was detected in May 2020 in South Africa. Gamma variant was isolated in Brazil in September 2020. Till date, there are 70,57,132 confirmed death. Confirmed death है अब तक इस पेंडेमिक से occur due to COVID worldwide. These are confirmed deaths 70,57,132. In India, नंबर ऑफ डेथ इज 5,33,623 और ये नंबर ऑफ डेथ कब से कब तक की हैं? सिंस 30 जनवरी 2020 से लेके 26 जून 2025 तक का डाटा है ये. सो नंबर ऑफ डेथ इन इंडिया टिल डेट फ्रॉम द onset of pandemic is 5,33,623. The first nationwide lockdown in India was ये कभी भी पूछ सकते हैं 25th मार्च 2020 टू 14 अप्रैल 20. पहला लॉकडाउन हमारा 21 डेज का था एंड सेकेंड फेज का लॉकडाउन वाज 15 अप्रैल टू 3 मई 2020 दैट इज 19 डेज का था लॉकडाउन एंड फोर्थ लॉकडाउन वाज फ्रॉम 4 मई टू 17 मई दैट इज 14 डेज का था. फर्स्ट सेकेंड थर्ड फोर्थ फिफ्थ लॉकडाउन था 18 मई टू 31 मई यानी 14 डेज का. तो ये हमारे लॉकडाउन लगे हैं. हो सकता है कभी कोई क्वेश्चन पूछ ले इस पर. द फेटेलिटी रेट वाज फ्रॉम 1.8% टू 2.3%. टुडे till date at present there are 6,000 एक्टिव केसेस इन इंडिया. इंडिया में इस समय एट प्रेजेंटली कितने एक्टिव केसेस हैं? 6,000 एक्टिव केसेस हैं. तो दूसरी बात, जैसे हम एक सार्स का नाम आया तो सार्स माने सीवियर एक्यूट रेस्पिरेटरी सिंड्रोम. तो द कोविड सार्स कोविड virus 2 is one of the causative agent of SARS. There are other causes of SARS in which mortality is 9.4%. In which mortality is 9.4%. And there are some other causes of SARS in which mortality 9.4% and the other term is MERS MERS. एक ए भी होती है सार्स की तरह, इसका नाम होता है मिडिल ईस्ट रेस्पिरेटरी सिंड्रोम. इसमें मोर्टेलिटी कितनी होती है? 34.4%. सो मोर्टेलिटी इज 34.4%. नाउ वी डिस्कस वेरिएंट्स, डिफरेंट वेरिएंट्स. तो प्रेजेंट केसेस ऑफ कोविड-19, जैसा कि हमने बताया कि इन इंडिया प्रेजेंटली देयर आर 6,000 एक्टिव केसेस. सो दीज केसेस present cases of COVID-19 are due to sub-variants of Omicron variants of SARS-CoV virus 2. And these variants and sub-variants are identified by gene sequencing and known as recombinant variants. And these are LF7, LF.7, JN.1, LP8.1. LP8.1 is the descendant of JN1 lineage, and XFG, XFG.3, NB.1.8. And recently in China, a new variant of COVID-19, a new variant of COVID-19 नहीं होना चाहिए, new variant of SARS COVID virus 2, new variant of SARS CoV-2 has been detected, which is called as Nimbus variant. Nimbus variant. And this variant has been spread to the UK this variant has been spread to the US from the China. अब इस वेरिएंट की बहुत इंपॉर्टेंस क्या है? इट हैज पिक्यूलियर सिम्टम. इसमें एक बहुत पिक्यूलियर सिम्टम मिल रहा है जिसको हम कहते हैं रेजर ब्लेड सोर थ्रोट. रेजर ब्लेड सोर थ्रोट कैरेक्टराइज्ड बाय एक्सक्रूसिएटिंग थ्रोट पेन. इतना एक्सक्रूटिंग थ्रोट पेन हो रहा है जैसे कि लग रहा है लाइक सैलोइंग ऑफ लेजर ब्लेड्स. रेजर के ब्लेड निकलने से जितना उनके कट होने से, गला कट होने से रेजर के ब्लेड से जितना पेन होता है तो उतना पेन फेल होता है. किसमें? रेजर ब्लेड सोर थ्रोट जब कंडीशन हो जाती है, किसकी वजह से हो जाती है? निम्बस वेरिएंट की वजह से. किसका वेरिएंट है ये? सार्स कोविड वायरस 2 का वेरिएंट है। कहाँ पे प्रेजेंट है? चाइना एंड यूएस में प्रेजेंट है। तो हमने देखा था इन अर्लियर कोविड वेरिएंट्स, अगर सोर थ्रोट हुआ भी है तो उसमें पेन कैसा था? मिनिमल पेन था, बहुत ज़्यादा पेन नहीं था। लेकिन इन दिस रेजर ब्लेड सोर थ्रोट में क्या है? पेन इज वेरी शार्प एंड कटिंग टाइप, and 1/3 cases of COVID-19 in US are due to Nimbus variant. So after discussing this, we can say कि from the starting of outbreak from 2019 till date, there was no time that cases were absent, cases of COVID-19 were absent. There are less or more cases each and every time. So there is a possibility that COVID-19 may come anytime. Although at present this possibility is not strong, what we should remember, we should learn how this wave, if comes, is prevented, and how this could be managed. Now we come at incubation period. If the incubation period depends on strain and variant of the virus and immune status of the patient. The incubation period is about 3 to 5 days. Incubation period is about 3 to 5 days. If it depends on variants. So if we look variant and incubation period, then we can say in alpha, in COVID-19 cases where causative agent was alpha variant, the incubation period was 5 days. And in beta it was 4.5 days, in delta it was 4.41 days, in omicron it was 3.412 days. So incubation period from alpha to omicron, it is decreasing order, ये ऊपर से नीचे तक डिक्रीज हो रहा है. अगर if we see the patient incubation period and condition of the patient, then in older patient जिसकी एज जो है more than 60 years, incubation period is 7.43 days. If age is between 18 above 18, that is young patient, incubation period is about 9 days. क्यों 9 डेज हो गया इंक्यूबेशन पीरियड? क्योंकि उसका इम्यूनिटी स्टेटस अच्छा था. इन्फेक्शन होने के बाद वायरस को पेशेंट की बॉडी पे अपना सिम्टम लाने में काफ़ी टाइम लगा, क्योंकि इम्यूनोलॉजिकल स्टेटस पेशेंट का अच्छा होता है, यंग पेशेंट का. सो इंक्यूबेशन पीरियड वाज लॉन्गर. नॉन सीवियर इलनेस में इट वाज 7 डेज, सीवियर इलनेस में इट वाज 6.69 डेज. एंड प्रीवियसली in 2020 and 2021, the incubation period was thought to be 14 days, and patient was kept in isolation for 14 days. If after 14 days in keeping isolation there was no development of symptoms, then patient was thought to be non-infectious. 14 दिन रखने के बाद यदि मरीज को कोई बुखार नहीं आया, कोई सिम्टम्स नहीं आए, तो उसको हम नॉन इन्फेक्शियस डिक्लेयर कर देते थे और उसको घर जाने दिया करते थे आफ्टर keeping 14 days in isolation. Now we can come at symptoms. So the patient, if we think symptom, the patient may be asymptomatic or it may be severely ill. The main symptoms are, the initial symptom is body pain, as I also felt when I was suffered from COVID-19, and this body pain, severe body pain, was followed by after 2 to 3 hours fever, high grade fever. So body pain, fever and cough is usually dry type, and there is a sore throat. If there is a sore throat, then pain is mild. While that we have discussed that there is a recent variant in the China called Nimbus. The sore throat is razor blade sore throat, in which there is a excruciating pain. The pain is sharp and cutting type. So this can be differentiated easily by the pain of sore throat. And there are some other causes also of the sore throat. The bacterial infection may also cause this type of pain, cutting and sharp. And the other symptoms are runny or blocked nose, just like common cold, fatigue and headache, and sometimes there is a diarrhea. If there is a diarrhea, then it is watery, footless and sudden. Now, as we told, as peculiar symptom of razor blade sore throat is due to, this is important fact and it may be asked in the examination, it was due to variant nimbus. Which variant? nimbus. इसके केस कहाँ है इस समय? चाइना एंड यूएस at present. As compared to loss of taste and smell at previous time. जब previous time में COVID-19 में क्या होता था, there was a loss of taste and smell. What at present time the hoarseness is more common at present time as compared to previous time. So यहाँ पे loss of taste and smell की जगह हमें क्या मिल रहा है? hoarseness मिल रहा है, hoarseness. Now if we see pathology, the pathology, whole pathology of COVID-19 is centered around the marked inflammation, and there is a hyperactivation of the immune system leading to storm of cytokines and many other mediators of inflammation, leading to destruction of many parts of body organs, and there is a microthrombi formation which blocks the capillaries and they damage multi-organ and resulting into multi-organ failure. Especially microthrombi are formed and they block the capillaries of the lungs, and due to inflammation there is a damage of the lung alveoli. So the exchange of gases becomes less and less, and oxygen available to the tissue becomes less and less, and there is a hypoxia or anoxia to the patient, which is main cause of weakness in COVID-19. All of you know that oxygen and glucose C6H12O6, and this causes ATP formation and H2O plus CO2. So whenever there is a less oxygen available to the cell or less glucose available in the cell, so as a result of Krebs cycle, the ATP formation, that is energy which we need for each and every activity, this decreases and we feel weakness. So cause of weakness is decreased concentration of oxygen and decreased formation of ATP. Now we see the investigation. So the diagnostic and investigation is real-time polymerase chain reaction and RT-PCR. It is most sensitive test. And other investigations are CBC, as leukopenia is common in viral infection, CRP, C-reactive protein, and this is acute phase reactant protein. Acute phase reactant protein, and tells the degree of inflammation in the body, and it is good prognostic factor. And we also see LDH and interleukin 6, and this is cytokine, yani marker of inflammation. Serum ferritin level and plasma D dimer. Serum ferritin level and plasma D dimer, these all indicates what is the degree of clot formation in the body, clotting process in the body. And we also get KFT and serum electrolytes and liver function test. If patient has comorbidities like diabetes, hypertension, coronary heart disease, or ISD, or COPD, or lipid dysemia, then we also get serum troponin level, electrocardiogram, HbA1c. HbA1c very important as to assess the sugar control level, and lipid profile, chest X-ray, and high hydrogenous computerized tomography, HRCT. HRCT and X-ray, they tell about the lung involvement. If there are patchy area in the CT scan, it indicates lung fibrosis. So lung fibrosis is indicated by white patchy area in HRCT. So there are some other tests such as नंबर काउंट. इफ हम अपनी सांसों से क्या करें, नंबर काउंट करें. इफ वी कैन काउंट till 1 minute. It indicates कि हमारा जो रेस्पिरेटरी सिस्टम है वो ठीक है. If after 20 minutes walking, if our oxygen saturation does not fall, then it means our respiratory system is normal. So this is the some test, some non-clinical test which tells about our condition of respiratory system. If there is no dyspnea, सांस हमारी नहीं फूल रही है, and we can walk and talk normally, and we can do some work, then it means, and without dyspnea if we can some work, it means our respiratory system is normal. Now if we come at management, management depends on the severity of the patient, and we have to classify patient on the basis of saturation of oxygen and respiratory rate and lung involvement. So with the help of pulse oximeter, see the oxygen saturation. If it is more than 94%, patient is mild. It is between 90 and 94%, patient is moderate, and oxygen saturation if less than 90% is severe, and severe patient is usually hospitalized. Now count the respiratory rate. If it is less than 24, patient is mild, and if it is between 24 and 30 per minute, the patient is moderate, and if it more than 30 per minute, patient is severe. We see pneumonia in the lungs, or in mild cases there is no pneumonia. In moderate cases, if pneumonia is either not present, if present it is +2. In severe cases, pneumonia is present, it is +3. And if we think about comorbidity, then comorbidity is usually not present in mild cases. In moderate cases may be present, but it is well controlled. In severe cases, it is usually present, and it may be well controlled or may not be controlled at all. दूसरा क्लिनिकली भी असेस करते हैं. अगर कोई पेशेंट है उसकी रेस्पिरेटरी रेट 60 है, एंड तो डेफिनेटली सी बात है कि उसमें जो ऑक्सीजन सिचुएशन है वो कम मिलेगा. तो इस प्रकार से केसेस को माइल्ड, मॉडरेट और सीवियर में हम क्लासीफाई करने के बाद उसका मैनेजमेंट डिसाइड करते हैं कि व्हाट शुड बी मैनेजमेंट. तो मैनेजमेंट में सबसे पहले हम एंटीवायरल देंगे. एंटीवायरल में हमने बता चुके, एंटीवायरल में सबसे पहले हम टैबलेट पैक्सलोविड देते हैं. पैक्सलोविड इज मैन्युफैक्चर्ड बाय Pfizer Pharmaceutical, and it is co-packed in two packing. In first packing, Nirma Trelver is 300 milligram and ritonavir is 100 milligram. And if the kidney function is normal, then it is given twice daily for 5 days. And in second packing, there is a Nirma Trelver 150 milligram and ritonavir 100 milligram. So this is for those patients which have moderate renal impairment. Moderate renal impairment means estimated GFR, glomerular filtration rate, is between 30 and 60 ml per minute. So this tablet is given BD for 5 days. Now tablet, and the same recommendation is moderate, while not recommended for severe cases. So tablet Paxlovid या oral antiviral is only recommended in mild and moderate case, not at all recommended in severe cases. Then for control of fever, we give tablet paracetamol 650 milligram BD, TD, TDS as per requirement. And if fever is more than 100, then it should be given, and if fever is less than 100, then it should not be given. Because प्रेजेंस ऑफ फीवर क्या करेगा? प्रेजेंस ऑफ फीवर, इंटरफेरॉन्स, द बॉडी टेम्परेचर इज लिंक्ड टू द फॉर्मेशन ऑफ इंटरफेरॉन. इफ देयर इज increased temperature, then interferons are formed and they are protective. They protect body from the viral infections. So paracetamol should be given only and only when fever is above 100 degree centigrade. Now tablet जिंक को देंगे. It boosts our immune system. It is given in the dose of 15 milligram for mild cases OD, for moderate cases OD, and for severe cases OD. Then we give vitamin C. The vitamin C is boost our immune system. दूसरा दिस इज एंटी इन्फ्लेमेटरी. So it is given 500 milligram 1 BD in mild case, 1 TDS moderate case, and in severe case it is given 1 to 3 gram IV. And on the basis of experience of previous COVID-19 cases, we can say that this vitamin C IV have been saved life of many patients, being inflammatory and immuno booster in nature. Now we consider antibiotic. In mild cases, we give azithromycin 500 milligram 1 OD for 5 days, or amoxicillin 650 milligram 1 BD for 5 days. And same regime we follow in moderate case. But in moderate case, we add injection ceftriaxone 1 gram IV BD if we suspect secondary infection in cases. And in severe cases, we give some strong antibiotic like piperacillin tazobactam 4.5 milligram. It is available with the brand name of injection Peptaz, and it is given IV BD along with injection meropenem 500 milligram 1 TDS. Now we want to tell you that this combination of piperacillin and tazobactam, it causes bradycardia. On the basis of experience in previous COVID-19 cases, it has caused bradycardia. The pulse rate was going below 50 in our family member. When we stop this piperacillin and tazobactam, then pulse rate become normal, that is above 50 and 60 and 70, and last pulse rate become 80. So this can cause bradycardia. Now IV fluids in mild cases, usually there is no need of IV fluids. What oral fluid should be taken, and the throat ड्राई नहीं रखना है, कुछ ना कुछ पीते रहना है. और जो गले में जो है, जो ज़्यादातर वायरस मल्टीप्लाई करते हैं, तो व्हाट शुड वी डू? वी शुड टेक हॉट वाटर, नॉट हॉट, वार्म वाटर, lukewarm water. Hot virus is injurious. We should take warm or lukewarm water or tea or some other soup to keep throat moist. So we should not keep our throat dry. But in severe cases, the fluid should be restricted, because in severe cases there is edema in the lungs, alveoli are damaged, and there is a marked inflammation, and there is a very few exchange of gases, and very few oxygen available in the tissue. And if this fluid is accumulated in the lungs, it may worsen the condition. So IV fluid should be given only in restricted way. For the control of acidity, we can give ranitidine 1 BD in mild cases, 1 BD in moderate cases, and IV in severe cases. Now anticoagulant. As we told, in COVID-19 disease, there is a hypercoagulability. There is a increased tendency of clot formation as indicated by elevated D-dimer level, elevated ferritin level, and more incidence of heart attacks or strokes during corona. So every patient should be given anticoagulant. We give tablet Eliquis, which is Apixaban 2.5 milligram BD for 7 days in mild cases, or tablet Clopidogrel A OD for 7 days. And in moderate cases, we give enoxaparin 40 milligram subcutaneously once a day for 7 days, and this enoxaparin is contraindicated in end-stage renal disease. So in this case, we should give unfractionated heparin 5000 IU subcutaneous BD. And in case of severe cases, we should follow the same as mild and moderate. Now steroid. As we know, in any infectious disease, because being immunosuppressant in nature, the steroids are contraindicated, because any infectious disease may flare up. What in case of COVID-19, steroids were indicated? Because there was too much inflammation in the body, that there was multi-organ damage and multi-organ failure. So steroid was given. The steroid which was given was dexamethasone 8 milligram per oral OD for 5 days, and tablet methylprednisolone 16 mg per oral for 5 days. In moderate case, the same steroid were given, same regimen were followed, but in severe cases, the steroid were given by IV route. Injection Dexa 0.2 mg to 0.4 mg per kg IV BD for 10 days. Now oxygen, the main problem was hypoxemia, anoxemia in COVID-19. So oxygen was life-saving for COVID-19 cases, and in mild case it was not required as the saturation of oxygen was more than 94%. But in moderate cases, the oxygen saturation was between 90 and 94. So we have target to maintain it at 92%. So we can give oxygen with the help of nasal prong. We deliver 4 liter oxygen per minute, or face mask which deliver 5 to 10 liter oxygen per minute, or non-breathable mask which deliver 10 to 15 liter per minute, or HFNC which deliver 10 to 14 liter per minute, or with CPAP or proning. Proning is a good condition to increase the oxygen saturation. So as per our requirement, to fulfill our target, we have to keep oxygen saturation above 92. We can use any one of these as per requirement. And in case of severe cases, there is no rule of nasal prong or face mask. We should use NRM or HFNC or CPAP or proning. Now immunosuppressant. In mild case, no need. In moderate case, no need. In severe cases, injection tocilizumab is used and it binds with interleukin 6. And in some cases, injection remdesivir has to be given. Now as we told, the tablet Paxlovid is available in two combinations. In first combination, nirmatrelvir कितना 300 milligram and ritonavir 100 milligram. So it is given 1 BD for those patients which have normal renal function. For patients with moderate renal impairment, PAC2, which contains nirmatrelvir 150 mg and ritonavir 100 mg, given BD for 5 days. And for patients with severe renal impairment and estimated GFR is less than 30, we should give on day first nirmatrelvir 300 mg, ritonavir 100 mg once a day, and from day 2 to day 5, nirmatrelvir 150 mg, ritonavir 100 mg once a day. So this is modified dose schedule. Now, as we know that tablet Paxlovid is a combination of ritonavir and nirmatrelvir. So both these are protease inhibitor. So why these two were combined? The ritonavir is combined with nirmatrelvir because to maintain therapeutic level for longer time. If you do not combine ritonavir with nirmatrelvir, then it is not possible to maintain therapeutic level of nirmatrelvir for prolonged time, and it is not possible to achieve maximum efficacy of tablet Paxlovid. And most important other thing is ritonavir is being protease inhibitor is also inhibit enzyme known as CYP3A. Now we talk about brands. So brands of Paxlovid is by Pfizer Pharmaceutical, and generic brand is available with the name of Paxion by Genera Pharmaceutical. Now there are some contraindication of tablet Paxlovid, such as severe liver damage or HIV or AIDS, and autoimmune lung disease such as rheumatoid arthritis, inflammatory bowel disease, and previous history of allergy to reaction to nirmatrelvir or ritonavir, and pregnancy or lactation. These are 6 contraindication of Paxlovid tablet: severe liver disease, HIV or AIDS, autoimmune disease such as rheumatoid arthritis, inflammatory bowel disease, previous history of allergic reaction to nirmatrelvir or letonabir, and pregnancy or lactation. So, if anybody is given 2 tablet Paxlovid, pregnancy should be avoided and method of contraception should be used. What are the side effects of tablet Paxlovid? Main side effects are allergic in nature, and other side effect is high blood pressure. And what are the drug interaction of Paxlovid tablet? As we have told that ritonavir, or we can say Paxlovid, is a strong inhibitor of enzyme CYP3A. Hence, blood levels of all those drugs are raised which are metabolized by enzyme CYP3A, causing adverse effect which may be fatal. Hence, dose adjustment or interruption of some drugs is required to prevent unwanted or life-threatening side effects. So, before giving tablet Paxlovid, patient should be inquired what medications he is taking. Now, this is list of medicines. Which adversely affect Paxlovid. First is carbamazepine. This is anti-epileptic. Efluzocin, amiodarone, antiarrhythmic drug. Colchicine used in gout. Dihydroergotamine, this used in migraine. And lomitapide, lovastatin, cholesterol lowering agent, and lurasidone, midazolam, naloxegol, and pimozide. Pimozide is used for the delusion of parasitosis. We use skin specialist and psychiatrist also use parasitosis. So, pimozide is a drug of choice, delusion of parasitosis, and phenobarbital, another anti-epileptic, phenytoin, anti-epileptic, ranolazine, which is used in chronic chest pain, rifampicin, antituberculous drug, and sildenafil citrate, and simvastatin, triazolam, and baclosporin. Now, if for any patient Paxlovid is contraindicated and we have to give antiviral, so the other choice is to use capsule molnupiravir. The patient can use capsule or other antiviral drug known as molnupiravir. So it is available in the form of capsule, and the brand name is Lagevrio. And dose is 4 capsule, that is 800 mg 12 hourly, means BG for 5 days. Now, very important fact is this: these antivirals should be used within 48 hours. If we use later in disease, that is after 7 days, then there is no use of these antiviral drugs, and these are effective only in early phase of the disease. Now, what precautions should be taken? And as compared to Paxlovid, the molnupiravir is experimental medicine, still being studied. इसकी स्टडी अभी पूरी नहीं हुई है, and it should be given for those which are 18 years or above, and this is contraindicated in pregnancy or those who are planning for pregnancy. अच्छी बात क्या है इस ड्रग में कि no dose adjustment is required in elderly. No dose adjustment is required in elderly. So, dear friends, this is all about COVID-19. यदि आपको अच्छा लगा हो तो आप इसको लाइक करिए, सब्सक्राइब करिए, और इसके साथ ही थैंक यू।